What's up everyone, this is Spooky, back with another Zenless Zone Zero guide. Today I'm very excited to give you information on Alice, the latest agent representing the Spook Shack. She's a physical anomaly agent with a fun and easy to use kit who also scales well with anomaly mastery in a way that we've never seen before. I'll be talking to you about her skills, combos, disk drive and W engine advice, Mindscapes, and much more. So strap in and let's get spooky! Now before I get too deep into talking about her kit, I want to let you know that a lot of this information comes from the content creator beta server. That means that things might be a little bit different than what I tell you in the final game. Alice Thymefield is a physical anomaly agent representing the Spook Shack. She has a polite and refined personality, which lends itself well into her animations and overall look. Her main fighting style heavily resembles fencing, and she has an obsession with symmetry, which you will notice with many of her attacks. Now, I especially find it awesome that she's one of the few agents that has an alternate outfit, with this great summer look that she gained during the story mode. So that means that you can have her in different looks if you like when you play her, which I find very fun, and she also will have different voice tracks depending on which outfit she's wearing. Now, despite being a Spook Shack member, she's very afraid of ghosts and anything with a supernatural, spooky nature, leading to lots of hilarious moments during the main story. I especially love the computerized belt that she wears, that's really vividly showing her emotions at any time. Alice's core passive is stacked. First off, whenever any agent triggers physical anomaly, including herself, she will deal damage over time to the enemy. The entire damage will end up being about 25% of the original anomaly proc over the course of a little less than 10 seconds. She will also increase the damage of disorders on enemies with assault anomaly, based on the time remaining. This caps out at an insane 180% of the original damage, immediately making her a threat in any disorder team. She also has a special meter called Blade Etiquette, which is this 3-stock bar under her life. Each stock allows her to do a charged basic attack, with the third stock allowing for a full charged move that will proc a new polarized assault, which is kind of like Yanagi's polarity disorder. The polarized assault can also trigger disorder even with physical anomalies, meaning she can disorder solo without any anomaly teammates. You can even have extreme circumstances like this one, where a double assault can be procced alongside the disorder. Now we're still talking about the core passive, which tells you how stacked it is. As if all of that is not enough, she also buffs her own anomaly buildup by 25% whenever she triggers assault for the next 30 seconds, making it so you can build to the next physical anomaly quickly, and it lasts for 30 seconds, which is more than enough time to get that next assault proc in there. Her additional ability gives her more Blade Etiquette meter whenever someone triggers disorder, including herself. It also gives her an anomaly proficiency buff for each point of anomaly mastery past 140. If you give her anomaly mastery drive disc 6 as well as Faith's Melody as your 2-piece, you will have around 195 total anomaly mastery, making this add up to 88 AP. But you may want to consider 2-piece Freedom Blues or Chaos Jazz instead, as you'll get 70 AP from her additional ability plus 30 from the drive set, giving you a total 100 AP boost. I'll discuss this further in the disk drive advice section. Now let's talk about some of Alice's important attacks and potential combos. Her basic attack is a 5-chain series, with the last hit doing significant damage and anomaly buildup. It's a solid series to use when she's on point, but the 5th hit is the most special. Whenever you proc Assault Anomaly, the 5th hit will be powered up, and this powered up attack has a great 437% damage multiplier at level 12, making it a powerful meterless tool. Now this basic 5 has several chains that you can use, including her level 3 Starshine Waltz, her EX specials, her dodge counter, her quick assist, her chain attack, or her defensive assist. As you can see, there are lots of ways to get into this special basic, so you should mix it into your DPS rotations at every opportunity, especially if you have recently procced Assault Anomaly. She also has a charged basic attack, Starshine Waltz, which costs some of the Blade Etiquette meter. There are level 1, level 2, and level 3 charged versions, but you will mostly prefer using the level 3 as it can proc the special polarized assault mechanic. There is a good situation to use the level 1, however, which is if you have full Blade Etiquette and are about to spend EX meter. In that situation, you can use the combo of level 1, EX special, level 3 into basic 5. Now she also has 2 different EX specials, which is quite interesting, although one does a bit more damage than the other. The first one, Northern Cross, is a fast move triggered by pressing EX while moving. Although the animation is very quick, it will do a bit less damage than the second EX and also does a little bit less Anomaly buildup. It does change to basic 5 after, so take advantage of that. Her second EX special, Southern Cross, is activated by pressing EX without moving. This one has a very long invincibility time while doing a bit more damage. Now I'll show you the damage and days numbers here so that you can see the difference. It's hard to tell which EX special is better, but I tend to think that if you have enough time, you should try to get the full EX Southern Cross in there. Now you'll see in these next 2 clips that 3 of this Northern Cross EX special was not quite enough to get a Fizz Anomaly proc. On the other hand, 3 of these Southern Cross specials were enough to proc a full-on assault Anomaly. By the way, when using the Southern Cross, you should try to be as close to the enemy as possible to get all of the hits so that you get as much Anomaly as you can. Now in these clips, I double checked for you around how much Blade Etiquette both these EX moves generate. The Northern Cross generates around 1 bar of Blade Etiquette per use, while the Southern Cross, if you get all the hits, generates a little tiny bit more than 1 bar. So perhaps if you want Blade Etiquette quickly, you should consider using the Northern Cross, especially in stun rotations. The Southern Cross EX will also chain to basic 5, so definitely take advantage of that. Now the last notable move I want to talk to you about is her ultimate, Starfall Finale. This move has an insane 4500 damage multiplier. It also gives 2 bars of Blade Etiquette, enabling some interesting level 3 Starshine Waltz rotations. I also made some example combos to get the juices flowing for you combo monsters. The first combo is a level 2 charge. Tag to Yuzuha, use her EX special, and then quick assist back to Alice for her basic 5. Then use ultimate into a level 3 charge and go right back into that basic 5 one last time. This next combo took me a few tries to record, but it should give you an idea of somewhat optimal meter dump usage. The main chain that you're going to be using is basic 5 to EX back to basic 5, and you're going to use that kind of as a way to extend different things, whether it's a level 3 special, whether it's an EX move, whether it's your ultimate, any way that you can utilize it so that you can make sure to get lots of the Blade Etiquette meter before setting up your ultimate and setting up those level 3s at the end. Now, while recording these clips, I noticed something interesting, which is that sometimes Alice can get a double assault proc alongside her disorder with the level 3 Starshine Waltz. I'm assuming this is an effect of her polarized assault, but it's interesting to me to see that she can do this. Now, reminder guys, this is from the beta server, so it remains to be seen if it will work like this in the final game. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk to you off the cuff about some teams that I think potentially are going to be very strong with Alice. This first option is going to be Alice, Yanagi, and Yuzuha together, and this is right now a lot of people are thinking that this is going to be one of her best teams, and that's because you got Alice and Yanagi together that are going to be back and forth, kind of using both their styles of polarity disorder with each other, and then you got Yuzuha, who's one of the best disorder and anomaly buffers right now in the set. If you happen to have all 3 of these agents, then you got to give this team a try, and Yanagi does happen to be someone that's also going to be on the banner at the same time as Alice in the second half of 2.1. Now, another potential strong team that might rival that team I just talked about, of course, is Alice, Miyabi, and Yuzuha. If you happen to pick up Miyabi during the first half of the 2.1 banner, then I definitely recommend sliding the 2 of them together, because these 2 feed off of each other well, especially with the long charge attack of Miyabi that gives Alice a lot of time to get on field and do what she likes to do. If you're a Bernice lover like me, she's also someone that potentially can slot well into this type of team. Bernice loves having lots of off-field time, just like Yanagi does, while Alice likes having a good amount of on-field time. That makes them a very good complement to each other. If you want to go all in on Alice's damage, then you could always try a double assist team like this one. Astro Yao can provide lots of quick assists between Alice and Yuzuha, while Yuzuha can also provide buffs to Alice. You could also rethink some of Alice's build and perhaps give her a pen ratio in that slot 5, because you're going to be getting 2400 attack in total between Astro Yao and Yuzuha in this team. So it's one that potentially could really skyrocket Alice's damage. Now, you're probably not surprised to see this one here, but if you happen to have Vivian from before 2.0, guess what? She's also an amazing partner for Alice, as someone that doesn't necessarily need a lot of on-field time to do her job. This team has the potential to do phenomenal Fizz and Ether damage, and it's also going to be very unique for certain types of tower battles. Now, I also want to list some free-to-play style squads for those of you guys that still have newer accounts, especially those of you that are new to 2.0. This Alice, Polka, and Lucy squad is a very fun one to play. It's also got a lot of interesting mechanics to it, because you got Polka, who can increase Alice's damage by 30% and doesn't need much on-field time. And then you got Lucy, that's going to be pushing a 600 damage buff to Alice and also doesn't need a lot of on-field time. So these two free-to-play assist characters are kind of perfect for letting Alice do what she does. Now, this is an alternative style of free-to-play squad, and this is involving Seth. Seth can pass on up to 100 Anomaly Proficiency to Alice, and Grace can get in there, do what she does, do some quick Anomaly procs, and just pass right back out to Alice so that Alice can get her disorders in there. This team is not necessarily going to top the damage charts, but when you're working with limited agents and you're trying to be flexible with your teams, this is not a bad one to try out. The main thing about Alice is that although she's not as flexible in comps as Yuzuha is, she does really have a lot of teams that she can work in. But really, she likes either double supports or she likes really working with another Anomaly character. So really think about that when you try to hyper focus on what teams you want to put her in. Alright everyone, so next up I have some skill upgrade recommendations for you. Prioritize your core skill and your basic attack, as the Starshine Waltz charge move scale off basic damage. In fact, you may want to take this to level 12 and use a hamster cage on it. Next up, improve your special and your ultimate, as these are solid damage sources that you'll use while building up the charge basic attack. Finally, max out your dodge and your defensive assist at the end to finish off Alice's build. Alright guys, in this section I'm going to talk to you off the cuff about what I think about the various options for W engines for Alice. Now, the best possible choice, of course, is going to be her signature W engine if you can get it. And that's because this one gives lots of attack, it gives lots of base attack, and also just by wearing it, you're going to get an Anomaly Mastery bonus of 60. It's also going to add 96 Anomaly Proficiency thanks to her additional ability. Also, whenever you inflict an assault, which is a thing that she's going to do extremely often because of how her polarized assault works, you're going to get 20% increased damage for 20 seconds. And it's going to stack too, so it can be up to 40% damage. Also, when you enter combat, so for the first 20 seconds of combat, you're also going to immediately gain those 2 stacks. And if you know how her additional ability works, she's already going to have her charge basic ready to go at the start of the fight. So that means that you can do a charge basic at the start and get this 40% damage bonus. Basically, the practice perfection is the perfect weapon for her. Now, another interesting choice is Jane's signature if you have it, which is the sharpened stinger. Now, this one gives a raw Anomaly Efficiency bonus, which is pretty nice for her damage. But the annoying part about this weapon is that to get the most out of this, you're going to have to use your dash attack and your dodge attacks, which are not really a signature of Alice's kit. So you're going to be sometimes playing a little bit suboptimally if you want to get the most out of this engine. But if it's one that you just have sitting in your roster and you don't want to go for a main engine, then this is certainly one that you could try. Now, another interesting one, and I kind of like this option, is Grace's Fusion Compiler. Now, the only thing that's a little off is that this one gives pen ratio, which is, you know, it's nice to have and it's nice to be able to crush the enemy's defense, but it's not a primary stat necessarily for Alice. That being said, this one also is going to give a raw 12% attack just by equipping it, and whenever you use your EX special, or your specials in general, but especially your EX special, you're going to get a little bit more Anomaly Proficiency for a while, and it can stack up to 3 times. This is going to be really good during certain of your Alice DPS rotations when using that EX special to build up to the level 3 Starfall. Now another one you can try if you have it is the Electro Lip Gloss, which is the Battle Pass weapon. And this one gives 75 Anomaly proficiency straight up, which is great for Alice. And also, whenever she does an assault proc on an enemy, she's also going to get a nice attack increase. Now, Alice is someone that gets a lot of assault procs and sometimes can get them in rapid succession. So this weapon will work pretty well for her as a low spend option. Now last but not least, we have a free-to-play option, and it's the Weeping Gemini, and this one is actually very good for her. The base stat is attack percentage, which is a stat that Alice will be very happy with, and also whenever anybody on the squad, including herself, hits someone with an attribute anomaly, or when you're getting those disorders, you're going to get more AP until the enemy is no longer in stun or the enemy's been killed, which is pretty much perfect for what Alice is doing. It works pretty well, and if you don't have any of these other engines that I'm talking about, this is a great engine to go for as a free-to-player. With Alice's disc drives, she has some interesting flexibility. 4-piece Fang Metal will be one of her best overall sets, thanks to the 35% increased damage she will deal after an Assault Anomaly proc. If you set up back-to-back Assault procs quickly, you will rake in the damage. But Freedom Blues can be an interesting choice. If you make sure to hit the enemy with your EX special before using your charged level 3 or ultimate, you can ignore 20% of the enemy's anomaly build-up resistance, potentially setting up some fast assault anomalies. For 2-piece sets, you can try Faith's Melody for the anomaly mastery. With the perfect build, you'll also get 88 anomaly proficiency from Alice's additional ability. But you can also try 2-piece Freedom Blues or Chaos Jazz. You'll lose a little bit of Anomaly Mastery, but you'll gain 100 total AP instead. Swing Jazz can also be an interesting option for the extra meter gain to set up more blade etiquette. Finally, although I didn't list them here, Hormone Punk or Astral Voice 2-piece can give her 10% attack if you don't have any of the other options I've mentioned. Now for her best disc drive stats, I do recommend Anomaly Proficiency in the slot 4, but you can use attack percentage if you don't have it. On the disc 5, go for that fizz damage bonus if you can, but you can also take attack percentage, or you can experiment with pen ratio, especially if you're going to try the Freedom Blues 4-piece set. In disc 6, go for Anomaly Mastery because it really adds the most to her kit, but if you don't have that available, you can also try out attack percentage. For substats, you're looking for as many hits of AP as well as attack percentage as you can get. You don't really need a lot of crit rate or crit damage, as those don't really add very much to her kit. Alright guys, I also want to give you some information on her Mindscapes. Now her Mindscape one is pretty good. This one says that whenever she does a polarized assault, she gets 25 blade etiquette, which is only 1/4 of a bar. But this next one is nice. Whenever she does any assault against an enemy, their defense is reduced by 20% for 30 seconds. This is a juicy Mindscape 1 and it adds a good amount to her damage. But the Mindscape 2 is a huge deal, and this one's also a very good stopping point. Whenever you hit the enemy with your ultimate, you're going to get a free polarized assault, just like the level 3 charge attack. Also, everyone's assault damage in general increases by 50%, not just hers, so this goes really well together with Yuzuha. Disorder damage against anybody that has a Fizz Anomaly also increases by another 15%, which is nuts. As well as whenever she enters the battlefield, she gets a free super on top of the fact that she already starts with a free level 3 charge thanks to her additional ability. This is for real an insane Mindscape 2, and if you're the type that likes to go for the Mindscapes, this is the one to go for and then just stop. Now, if you're the type that likes to go big or go home, Mindscape 4 makes it so that Alice ignores 10% of the enemy's physical resistance. Also, her enhanced basic 5 will accumulate 25% more physical anomaly buildup. Mindscape 6 is one of the most insane ones that I've ever seen. Whenever she does a level 3 charge basic or her ultimate, she will enter what's called victory state. During this time, whenever anyone on the squad lands a hit on the enemy, she will follow up with a huge attack that does 3300% of her anomaly proficiency. This is automatically gonna crit, and she gets up to 6 of them per charge basic or per ultimate. I have no idea what this thing even looks like, but for those of you guys that like to go big, this one is just insane. Thank you so much everyone for checking out my preview guide to Alice Thymefield in Zenless Zone Zero. I hope you guys enjoyed it, as I tried to include a lot of great information for all of you at home. Anyway, if you liked it, everybody, you know what to do. Leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe to the channel and let me know what type of guides you all would like to see next. Have a beautiful day, everyone.